It's the book of Alpha running, man, homie. Read it or weep. Female nature isn't the reason you got dogged out in your relationship. It isn't the reason that you stayed long enough to get dogged out. It isn't the reason that you were mistreated by a woman. It isn't the reason that you were lied to, cheated on, or any of those things. Female nature isn't the reason she dogs you out. Male nature is. Beta male nature to be precise. Let's take a deep dive on this one. But first, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff. Now, there are 5 reasons that you were treated the way you were treated in the relationship you were in before. There's no need for you to complain about female nature. That's not the reason. That's not the blame. The reason why you can't get over the hump and move on with your life and become the man that you're supposed to be is because you continue to believe that female nature is the issue that affected your life. It is not. Women are who women are. She is what she is. She does what she does. So let's talk about the 5 reasons that are truly responsible for you being treated the way you were treated. The first reason, she showed you her nature early on. She showed you her nature early on. There is no woman who was sweet as peach pie and then turned out to be bitter as wormwood 10 years later. No, she showed you her nature. She showed you who she was. Now, female nature is present in all women, but not all women have experienced the things that cause the worst of her nature to rear its ugly head all the time. Yes, every woman can be pushed to exhibit the worst of femininity, but some women just wear it on their sleeve from day one. And you knew this. You saw this. Before you got to the point where you just couldn't take it anymore, you start taking things that you know you shouldn't take. Whose fault is that? If a woman shows you from the beginning that she's disrespectful and she's an angry woman and she's never going to show you any respect or consider you in any way, whose fault is it that you stayed with that woman 5 years? Hers or yours? When someone shows you who they are, you are a fool to believe that they're going to become something else. They're not going to become something else. They are who they are for whatever reason. Some people fake who they are, but it doesn't matter. If they fake who they are, you can't worry about if they're faking or not. You have to take them at face value. It's the same thing if a woman shows, man, and a woman is sweet as peach pie, man, and she's sensitive and she's understanding, man, and she exhibits shut-upness and obedience. Why would you treat that woman the same way you treat a woman who didn't show you any of those things? The problem with the majority of you men is you can't accept women for who they are. You either have to accept that all women are this way or all women are that way. So the beta male simp man Johnny believes that all women are good. And the butthurt beta male who doesn't want to admit he's a beta male and goes around claiming terms like alpha and red pill and king and all of those things, he believes that all women are bad. You can't live life in extremes. In any facet of life, you can't live it in extremes because each individual circumstance is a difference. It's different. Just like each individual that you come into contact with is going to be different. The second reason that you have to understand that female nature isn't why you got dogged out and mistreated by a woman is you decided to turn a thought into a housewife. At the very moment you realized that she was a thought, why did you continue on down the process of continuing to try to make her into a housewife? Why would you do that? What made you say, okay, this is how she is, but I'm going to make an honest woman out of her? You can't make an honest woman out of a dishonest woman. You can't do it. The same way you can't make a straight woman out of a lesbian. You simply can't do these things. You decided that you were going to take on the impossible mission of trying to turn a woman into something she wasn't. Is that her fault? Is it her fault that she was a thought when you met her and you married her anyway and she stayed a thought? Come on, bruh. How is it her fault for remaining true to who she was and not changing just because you married her. You can marry any woman in the world, but that don't make her a wife. That just makes her a married woman. The third reason that you have to understand that female nature isn't the reason that you got dogged out in your past relationship is you realize you weren't happy before you got all the way caught up with the woman. Man, you realize you weren't happy, man. You realize that she wasn't the woman that you wanted, man. You just stayed there and feel like, man, you'll just do without some of the things. Well, at least she's this. Anytime you have to tell yourself, well, at least she's this, that means, man, that you're dealing with a woman, man, that's not up to par for you. Anytime you have to tell yourself, but she does this well, that means that all the things that you want from a woman, man, she's not giving them to you, and you're just going to accept the one thing she is. We don't expect much from women. Shut upness and obedience. If a woman can't give me shut upness and obedience, all the other things don't matter. You may want a woman who can cook and clean well. Well, if a woman gives you shut upness and obedience, but she don't cook and clean, then you still don't have a woman that means something to you. We all have to be individuals when it comes to our preferences, because all our preferences are individual things. All our life experiences are individual endeavors. Yeah, we have some similarities in what we've dealt with. You know, black men deal with this, black women deal with this, white men deal with this, white women deal with this, and some of it are good, some of it is bad. But the bottom line is, you have to decide what's most important to you. For me, shut upness and obedience goes a long way. A long way. Matter of fact, it goes from start to finish, A to Z. But when you realize you weren't happy, you shouldn't have never got caught all the way up with a woman. How do you realize, man, I don't even like being around this woman, end up marrying a woman anyway? Who's to blame for that? How are you going to blame a woman for making a stupid decision? You can't blame anyone for making a stupid decision except yourself. You're the reason you made a stupid decision. You looked at the logical reason. You looked at the logical route. You looked at the emotional route. You took the emotional route. That's not her fault. That's your fault. The fourth thing you have to understand that represents why female nature isn't the reason that you got dogged out. You thought you could love her into changing. You thought you could love her into change. When a woman comes to you and she's gone through a lot of emotional turmoil, you believe you can love the pain away. Let me tell you something. The only one who can love the pain away that a woman feels is the one who caused the pain. You can love her and try to cover it up, and she can use your love and leech off your love and pull it away from you. But what happens after that? Your love is drained. You don't have any more love to give. You're just in the habit of going through the motions of doing the actions that represented that love. But she's not getting the love anymore because she's drained all of your love. And guess what she finds out once she drains your love? The pain is still there. You can't love the pain off of a woman if you didn't cause the pain. It's like a kid who was given up for adoption by his mother. Eventually, that kid wants to find his mother. There's a pain there. There's an emptiness there. No matter how great the stepmother is, she can be the most wonderful woman in the world, the most wonderful mother in the world. But guess what? That kid has a hole in his heart from another woman, his birth mother. Same thing with a woman. If a woman goes through a relationship and her heart is broken, you can't mend a broken heart. You can't. All you can do is get drained of all of your emotional ointment and allow your catering to her to be used as a band-aid. But guess what happens when the band-aid wears off? She realizes the sore is still there. Not only is it there, it's larger and festering even more profusely. The fifth thing that you must understand that will totally obliterate your idea that female nature is the reason you got dogged out by a woman is you totally ignored the early warning signs of incompatibility. Let me tell you something. Incompatibility starts from the first conversation. You can tell a woman's energy from the first conversation you have with her. It starts there. So if the incompatibility showed itself in the first conversation, how do you get 5 years, 10 years, 20 years in with a woman who you knew and realized was incompatible with your life from the first conversation? You decided that you were going to sell yourself short. You decided that you were going to take a loss. You decided that you were going to let some woman who didn't deserve to be in your life, not only be in your life, but take the highest position available for a woman in your life and walk down the aisle and marry the wrong woman. Come on, bruh. You knew what you were doing and you did it anyway. You knew this wasn't the right thing to do and you did it anyway. You knew the woman didn't fit into your life, but you took a square peg and stuck it into that round hole. And even though it didn't fit, you just left it cocksided sitting on top of the hole. While you probably watched the round peg walk right by you. But you kept sticking with the square peg. You forced a woman who didn't fit into your life to fit into your life and then got upset because 10 years later you realized she never did fit. What did you think? She was going to shave her edges off and turn herself into a round peg? Come on, bruh. You know better. This isn't about how you were raised. You were raised to know right from wrong. You were raised to know, hey, if something don't feel good, don't do it. From the time you put your hand on the stove as a child, as a baby, you knew when something don't feel good, don't do it again. But you stayed with a woman even though nothing about being with her ever felt good to you. You know why? Because you lost track of feeling good for yourself and started focusing on her feeling good. And that was your life endeavor, to heal a broken woman, to love a hurt woman back into a pain-free state. You'll never get that time back. Female nature is not the reason that you were treated badly and dogged out by the woman you were with. Male nature is. Beta male nature, to be precise. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.